One example is an unattractive caterpillar turning into a majestic butterfly. At the age of 13, I was a hopeless caterpillar with an insatiable appetite. Caterpillars eat one green leaf after another, chomping away with no boundaries. As for myself, it was one crime after another. I come from a big family, uncles, aunts, and a lot of cousins, in a community where crime was the norm. My family was a part of that norm, so I was exposed to a lot of crime and violence. But it didn't bother me. I was a straight-A student, and I got treated like a child prodigy. But I resented that treatment. Secretly, I wanted to be a gangster, a man of power and respect. My moms moved us from that community so me and my siblings could grow up in a better environment. But destiny would say otherwise. I was allowed to spend weekends in my old neighborhood with my cousins, so I was living a double life, going to school during the week and partying on the weekend, till I got arrested when I was 14. My mom accepted who I was becoming and gave me some words of wisdom. She said, don't bring what you do in the streets to where you gotta lay your head. Words I would take to heart and apply. Soon, the streets of South Central Los Angeles would become my home. But I wasn't welcome everywhere. There are dozens of gangs in the city of Los Angeles. I was from one of the biggest gangs, and we had a lot of enemies. I dropped out of school and devoted my life to the gang. I was embraced by those who were known to make things happen. They taught me everything. By the age of 17, I was a menace to society. All I knew was crime, and I fed on it with reckless abandonment. I was very spontaneous, deliberate, and I never hesitated. So when I pulled my gun during a robbery, I was serious about what I wanted. I wasn't trigger happy, but I wouldn't think twice neither. The irony is, money meant nothing to me. I wasn't motivated by greed. I was into splurging and having a good time. Every day was a party for me. But the realities of my lifestyle made me ruthless. The gang violence was real. I've been to a lot of funerals growing up, and on a few occasions, I've been to 2 funerals in one day. I had a reputation for doing a lot of shooting. I did drive-bys, but I was known for jumping out and chasing people down. I was so deep into this lifestyle that anything outside of it was foreign to me, including being intimate. I had some pretty girlfriends, but I preferred the company of prostitutes. So it was no surprise that my appetite would lead me to prison, where immediately I began to feed on the violence and hypocrisies of prison politics. You would think after years of indulging myself, crime would be like pesticide to me. But after being released from prison, my appetite only increased, allowing me to savor the bitter taste of recidivism. There is nothing more hopeless like coming back to prison. In my case, coming back with 160 years to life. After a caterpillar stops feeding, it spins itself into a cocoon. There, it undergoes this gruesome process of dissolving and digesting what it no longer needs. A process I know all too well. Shortly after my incarceration, I began to self-destruct. Using hard drugs always been taboo to me because I sold it and saw the effects of it. Yet, there I was, getting high on heroin and crystal meth. I had a strong support system of family and friends who would send me whatever I asked for. They didn't know of my drug use, so I lied and made up reasons why I needed money. I was a clown in so many ways that it was impossible for me to take anything serious. My self-destruction was inevitable, and I was beginning to embrace my hopelessness. But suddenly, in January 2016, Jesus Christ became my Lord and Savior, and I stopped using drugs. None of this was planned, so I didn't know what I was doing. There was no step-by-step manual on how to change your life in prison. Plus, My sudden change brought out the skeptics. You think TMZ is something? They don't have nothing on the paparazzis we have in prison. So I had to deal with all of their criticism, their rejections, and their gossip, all in a nonviolent way. Shouts out to Martin Luther King, who said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at a time of challenge and controversy. So I was able to block out the rhetoric and focus on my change. That's the purpose of the cocoon, right? But all of this was new to me. I felt like a child, as if I was starting life all over again. I never felt so vulnerable in my life, so sensitive. The entire process was emotional, forgiving, and letting go. I accredit the mental health program here at R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility. So much of my coping skills and character development is a result of their professionalism. I was beginning to see purpose in all of my experiences. The word coincidence was losing its value to me, but the word perfect was beginning to mean everything to me. Doors were opening and good people were coming into my life. On December 21st, I learned I was selected to be part of the first ever TEDx Donovan Correctional. I didn't think I qualified. I'd never been a part of something positive. So my joy inspired me to make a decision I never thought I'd make. On Christmas morning, I let it be known the gang life was over. And a few days later, I'll be crying in the shower as I thought about all the people who died for this lifestyle. So many who would have been proud of my choice. I entered 2017 giving God glory, preparing me for the day of the TEDx Donovan Correctional event. I was the lead usher, a position that taught me the true meaning of humility. I was being of service without being seen, which was new to me because every event I've been to in my life, I was used to being seen. So this experience was foretelling that, oh, that's about to change. Things were about to be different for me. Just like Jesus was led into the wilderness to be tempted by Satan, so was I led into the summer of 2017 to be tempted by one situation after another. And in accordance with that, my pastor would challenge the congregation to a 40-day fast by giving up something we love. I love music, the rhythm, the harmony, the passion. It took me to a whole nother world, blocking out my surroundings. But it was no more of that. The fast forced me to deal with people and situations that were unpleasant to me.